How do you actually start doing research during your bachelor's? You do not always have to wait for someone to give you an opportunity. You can start small projects on your own. Many students start with interest but lose motivation because they expect it to be engaging all the time. In reality, research can feel repetitive and challenging. How research actually works step by step. What is the future scope of research in psychology? If you decide to take research seriously, it can open multiple career paths. The skills you develop through research are extremely valuable in almost every area of psychology, even if you don't want to become a full-time researcher later in your career. Everyone says that if you want to build a strong career in psychology, you should start doing research. But no one really explains what that means when you are still in your bachelor's. Most students think research is something very technical, something only toppers or PhD students do, or something that requires big labs and complicated tools. And because of this confusion, they either avoid it completely or start too late. So first, let's understand what research in psychology actually means at your level. Research is simply the process of trying to understand human behavior in a structured and scientific way. It is not about doing something extraordinary. It is about asking a question and then trying to find an answer using a proper method. For example, if you are curious about whether social media affects the attention span of teenagers, you can actually study this. You can create a simple questionnaire, ask the target people about their screen time, observe patterns in their focus levels, and try to understand if there is a connection between these two aspects. This itself is research. So it is not about complexity, it is about curiosity combined with a method. Now the real question is, how do you actually start doing research during your bachelor's? The first place you should start from is your own syllabus. Subjects like research methods and statistics are often ignored by students because they feel difficult or boring. But these subjects are actually your entry point into research. When you understand basic ideas like variables, sampling, or how to interpret data, you start seeing behavior in a more scientific way. For example, instead of just saying teenagers get distracted easily, you start thinking what factors are causing this distraction and how can I measure it? That shift in thinking is the beginning of research. Another very practical way to start is by approaching your professors. Many students hesitate because they feel they are not good enough or experienced enough. But the reality is, professors are often already involved in research projects and they need help in small tasks. You can simply go to them and say that you want to learn and are willing to assist. Even if your role involves something basic like collecting responses, organizing data, or reading research papers, you are still learning how real research works. For example, a student helping a professor with a study on stress levels in college students might start by entering survey data, but slowly they begin to understand how questions are designed and how results are interpreted. At the same time, you do not always have to wait for someone to give you an opportunity. You can start small projects on your own. For instance, you might notice that many students around you feel anxious before exams. You can create a simple Google form asking about their study habits, sleep patterns, and stress levels. Once you collect responses, you can try to see patterns and interpret the results. Maybe you get to find out that students who sleep less before exams report higher anxiety. So even if your analysis is basic, you are learning the process. Your first project does not have to be perfect. It just needs to help you understand how research actually works step by step. You can also look for internships or volunteer opportunities in mental health organizations, NGOs, or research-based projects. Even if these opportunities are unpaid, they can be extremely valuable at this bachelor's level. For example, working with an NGO that focuses on child development might expose you to real behavioral observations and data collection. This kind of exposure helps you connect theory with real-life situations, which is something textbooks alone cannot give you. But it is also important to be honest about one thing. Research is not always exciting. It involves a lot of reading, literature review, understanding concepts that may feel confusing, and being patient with slow progress. Many students start with interest but lose motivation because they expect it to be engaging all the time. In reality, research can feel repetitive and challenging. For example, reading multiple research papers on the same topic can feel tiring, but this is how you build depth and clarity. So, if you ever feel stuck or bored, it does not mean research is not for you. It simply means you are in the learning phase and just need a small break. And if you want to know or have doubts about the process of research, like a step by step guide or something similar, do let me know in the comments. Now, coming to the most important question: what is the future scope of research in psychology? If you decide to take research seriously, it can open multiple career paths. You can go into academic research, where you pursue a master's and then a PhD, and eventually move into teaching or independent research. You can also work in clinical research, where studies are conducted to understand mental health conditions and treatments. In the corporate world, research is used in organizational psychology to understand employee behavior, productivity, and workplace well-being. There is also scope in policy making and social research, where psychologists study large-scale issues like education, mental health awareness, or social behavior. However, it is very important to understand that research is usually a long-term path. In India, it often requires higher education like a master's degree and mostly a PhD to build a stable career. It is not something that gives immediate financial returns. But at the same time, the skills you develop through research are extremely valuable in almost every area of psychology, even if you don't want to become a full-time researcher later in your career. For example, even if you become a counselor, your ability to analyze behavior, understand patterns, and think critically will come from your research training. So, the smartest approach is not to think of research as a separate career from the beginning. Instead, think of it as a skill you start building early. And remember, I am here to guide you always. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.